you aren't making your own tortillas at home, you're really missing out. Fresh tortillas take any dish to the next level. Corn tortillas are quite simple and require only 3 ingredients: 2 cups of Masa Harina, roughly 2 cups of hot filtered water, and a teaspoon or so of salt. Masa Harina is the dry ground corn that you turn into masa, which roughly translates to dough in Spanish. As always, I encourage you to use the finest ingredients you can both find and afford. Now, you can find already prepared masa fresh from a tortilleria if you have one of those in your area, but if not, I recommend looking into a company like Masa and ordering your Masa Harina. Masa are not a paid sponsor, I just really enjoy their product. So combine the Masa Harina into a bowl with the salt and mix with a whisk or a fork. I usually just use a fork to save from using another utensil that will need to be cleaned later. Heat your water in the microwave or on the stove or however you want to heat it really, but mix the hot water into the dry masa and salt with a fork a little at a time till it becomes kind of clumpy and cakey, but before it becomes super sticky or even worse, soupy. Work it into a ball and put it in a covered bowl of some kind and let it sit and hydrate for about 20 minutes. Now remember, not all Masa Harina is created equal, such as Masa doesn't require a hydration period, whereas Bob's Red Mill or something that you might get at the store will require the hydration period. Once your masa is fully hydrated, take a kitchen scale and break the larger ball into smaller pieces. I usually stay between 50 to 60 grams per ball, which is larger than, say, a number 10 size tortilla from a proper taqueria, but I think that this is a great size for whatever kind of tacos you're going to be making, and they fit nicely into a tortilla holder. Once divided, put them back into the covered bowl until you're ready to press and cook, which you should do right away. While your masa is hydrating, heat some dry, preferably cast iron pans over medium-high heat so that when you've divided your balls, you'll be ready to press and cook. I use a tortilla press for corn tortillas, and you can certainly find these online in a lot of places. This particular press is a 6.5-inch cast iron press, and I've cut 2 circles out of a freezer bag to line either side of the tortilla press for ease of pressing. Place your divided masa ball in betwixt the 2 pieces and slightly flatten with your hand. Then give it a press, followed by 3 more presses after a quarter turn each time for a more uniform thickness and shape. I usually keep one ready in the press while the pans are full and cooking. Remove the plastic-covered tortilla, peel one side off, then peel the other side off into your hand, taking care not to tear or damage the fragile, uncooked tortilla. Then simply lay it into the pan. It's kind of a flopping motion, but again, be as gentle as possible. It's really pretty easy once you get the hang of it. For my process, I use 2 hot pans at a time to get through this faster since I don't have a giant comal or flat top, or at least I don't yet. You cook it for about 30 to 45 seconds on the first side or until the edges begin to lift from the pan, then flip and cook for an additional 30 seconds. Once you flip the 3rd time, and if you've done it right, the tortilla should start to puff a little bit, and if not, you can give it a little press with your spatula and cook another 15 seconds while puffing. Give one final flip for a few seconds, then put it into a towel-lined covered dish of some kind to steam them, which is kind of where the magic happens. If your tortillas aren't puffing, which is what you want, it might be because the dough is too wet or too dry, or maybe your pans aren't hot enough. You don't want them burning and sticking, but a little charring is totally fine, and I happen to like the way it looks. So it might take some troubleshooting, but it really is pretty easy to get a feel for. In my experience, the corn tortillas never puff as dramatically as the flour ones do, but as you can see here, they are definitely puffing. This particular batch was just a touch too dry, but still did get some puff. After cooking and steaming, you're left with a basket full of crazy flavorful, soft, and durable corn tortillas, all from scratch. Don't forget to follow at Bobby Jam's Kitchen on YouTube and Instagram.